Some people don't hate people. They just hate meaningless conversation. They don't struggle socially. They struggle pretending. If you've ever felt drained after casual chatter, if you've ever wished conversations could skip straight to something real, you might think you're awkward. But psychology suggests something very different. Because people who avoid small talk often share uncommon cognitive and emotional traits, traits most people never develop. And today, you might recognize yourself in more than one. Trait 1, they process information deeply. People who avoid small talk tend to have higher levels of cognitive depth. They don't skim conversations, they analyze them. While others are satisfied with surface-level exchanges, they instinctively search for layers. They notice tone shifts, micro-expressions, unsaid tension between words. Small talk feels inefficient to them, not because they're arrogant, but because their mind naturally goes deeper. They would rather discuss fears, ideas, meaning, psychology, dreams, the architecture behind behavior. And when conversations stay at weather updates and weekend plans, their mind quietly disengages. Trait 2, they guard their energy. Small talk isn't harmless to them, it's draining, not because they dislike people, but because surface interaction demands performance. They feel the subtle pressure to respond correctly, to laugh at the right moment, to mirror enthusiasm they don't feel. And over time, that performance becomes exhausting, so they choose silence instead, not as avoidance, but as protection. Trait 3, they crave psychological safety. For them, conversation isn't about filling silence, it's about feeling safe enough to be real. Small talk feels like standing on unstable ground, polite, predictable, but emotionally hollow. They don't open up easily, but when they do, it's intentional, because they value depth over quantity, connection over noise. Psychologically, they often score higher in emotional awareness. They can sense when a conversation is authentic and when it's performative. And once they detect artificiality, they withdraw, not dramatically, quietly. Trait 4, they think before they speak. People who avoid small talk rarely speak impulsively. They filter internally first. Their silence isn't emptiness, it's processing. While others speak to think, they think before they speak. This creates an interesting dynamic. They may appear distant, but internally, they're constructing layered responses, weighing impact, choosing precision. That's why when they finally speak, it often lands deeper than expected. They don't speak often, but when they do, it matters. Trait 5, they're comfortable with silence. Most people fear silence, they rush to fill it. But those who avoid small talk understand something rare. Silence isn't empty, it's revealing. Silence exposes discomfort. It reveals who needs validation, who needs noise to feel secure. And the person who avoids small talk, they've usually made peace with their inner world. They don't panic when conversation pauses. They observe. They listen more than they speak. And they notice what others miss. Trait 6, they value meaning over belonging. Most people talk to belong. They talk to connect through similarity. But those who avoid small talk don't chase belonging at any cost. They would rather feel understood than accepted. This doesn't mean they reject people. It means they reject shallow validation. They don't need constant affirmation. They need resonance. And resonance is rare, which is why their circle is small. But the bonds they form, they're unusually strong. Trait 7, they have a high tolerance for solitude. Many people avoid silence because they fear being alone with their thoughts. But those who avoid small talk often thrive in it. Solitude doesn't scare them, it stabilizes them. Psychologically, this often correlates with stronger internal dialogue. They think in layers, they replay conversations, analyze patterns, connect invisible dots. This makes them self-aware, but it can also make them overthink. And here's the downside most people don't talk about. Depth can become isolation. When you crave meaningful conversation, casual spaces can feel lonely. The hidden advantage. Here's what most people miss. Avoiding small talk isn't a weakness, it's selective engagement. These individuals often build deeper professional relationships, stronger romantic bonds, more loyal friendships. Because when they invest attention, it's intentional. They don't scatter their energy everywhere, they focus it. And focused energy creates impact. The question that changes everything. So here's the real question. Are you socially anxious or are you socially selective? Do you avoid small talk because you're afraid or because you crave depth? There's a difference. And understanding that difference changes your identity. You're not broken. You're wired for meaning. You don't dislike people. You dislike noise. And once you accept that, you stop forcing yourself into rooms that drain you. Instead, you start seeking spaces that align. And in those spaces, you don't feel different. You feel understood. If this resonated with you, it's not by accident. Some people are built for noise. Others are built for depth. And depth is rare, which means so are you.